And Republic TV has accessed the full report of what happened inside the Rajya Sabha. We have the report, and I have the report in my hand. Let me see if I can open that report. And details on your screens right now. We're picking up the full details of the report, and I have the report in my hand. Let me try and open that report. Here's the report. I'm going to read out from it. Abhishek Kapoor, our senior executive editor, getting out all the details. The report is here on my phone. Let me try and go close to Abhishek. Abhishek, I have the report with me. Some pictures being circled here. As part of the report. These are, this is a report that was shared, I think, by the Rajya Sabha. Going through some of the photos. Here, there is a parliamentarian. There is a parliamentarian who's jumping on the Marshals. And some more pictures of, another picture of a parliamentarian standing on a chair, it seems like. Another picture of a parliamentarian there trying to push and pull. Another Sena MP, I think that is Sanjay Raut. And several pictures. And here you go, the whole sequence of events as captured by the Rajya Sabha report, which is in my hand right now, breaking on top of 7 p.m. Details of the pushing, pulling, manhandling, attacking, violence, throwing rule book, all of it is on camera. Here you go. It's all been caught on camera while the Marshals just stand there. They all claim that the Marshals had attacked them, but visuals speaking a story after all the tall claims were made. Let's go across to Abhishek. Abhishek has gone through the details. Abhishek, tell us what do you see? What do you see in this report?
Niranjan, this report is submitted or filed to the Rajya Sabha Secretariat by the Office of the Special Director Security in Parliament, and it makes a few points very clear in the light of the opposition charge, and that is that no outside security was called in. It was entirely the Parliament Security Service that was marshalled to prevent any damage to property and any physical harm to the Secretary General, the menacing manner in which the opposition MPs had charged towards the well of the House. And in so doing, the Parliament staff was used, number one. Number two, what is clear is that there was intention on the part of opposition MPs to cause physical harm, perhaps, to the Secretary General and to climb up the table and tear apart the papers and bills that were, or the documents that were lying on the table. And that's why a security cauldron was thrown around the central table. The security was created to prevent any physical harm. Also, the MPs used each other to push the security wall of Marshals. And then, as can be seen from the pictures, as also the visual that we had broken earlier in the day, Niranjan, it's clear that the lady Marshal was dragged, pulled by her head, and she suffered some injuries. Also, another male Marshal, he choked because he was grabbed by his throat by these honorable members of Parliament of the opposition. And this report has been submitted, as I said, by the Office of Special Director Rajya Sabha Security to the Rajya Sabha Secretariat. And it clearly shows the details of incident, minute-wise details of incident as to exactly what happened when. Around 2 p.m. at the time that the OBC amendment bill was introduced and passed, and around 7:45 p.m. at the time when the General Insurance Amendment Bill was being introduced, and it's at that time that pandemonium reigned and ruled, and the opposition did not allow the House to be in order because they did not want that very important, crucial piece of legislation to be passed. And now we have this report, 1802, Ms. Dola Sen, put the hanging loop made of...
Abhishek, stay with me. Can I show that part of the report here? I have it in my hand. Let me show that part of the report. If my video journalist can just zoom in. I'm just going to show you that part of the report. Here you go. Let me see if I can zoom into that. That's the report. You see it closely. Let me see if you can focus on it. It's got the full details of the sequence of events. Sequence of events of, who did what at what time. That's the detail of the incident. Dola Sen, I'm going to hold it carefully. And I'm going to try to read from the screen. Dola Sen put the hanging loop made up of fabric scarf or resembling a noose around the neck of... yeah, there you go. I got it back. Yeah, here it is. So it goes on to name these MPs and give out the full details. Dola Sen put the hanging loop made up of a fabric scarf resembling a noose around the neck of Shanta Chetri in the gangway and held another end of the loop in her hand and made slogan shouting. I'm going to read that again, Abhishek. It says it's a very serious charge. It says the MP put a hanging loop made up of fabric scarf around the neck of Srimati Shanta Chetri. Hanging loop held by Dola Sen and Srimati Shanta Chetri, followed up by the well of the house. Papers torn by Fulo Devi Netam thrown on the table. Srimati Chaya Varma also tore papers and threw them towards the table. Binoy Vishwam snatched papers, folders kept on table of the house. Video recording made by Akhilesh Prasad Singh covering security staff. 6:22 p.m. Dola Sen obstructs the way of Sri Piyush Goyal and Sri Prahlad Joshi coming from the chairman's chamber to take their respective seats in the house. And it gets more serious. In fact, it gets more serious. Let me open the this report. If my video journalist just look at this report, in fact, it's a frame by frame. It's a frame by frame mention here. Abhishek, I have a frame by frame. Look at this. You see this? I'm going to pull this back a little bit so you can see it clearly. That's a frame by frame. I'm going to go. It's got 22 frames. 22 frames. It's frame. This is frame 1. You can see here an MP who's raising his hand against the marshal. This frame 2, an MP circled in this report climbing over the marshals. Frame 3, an MP standing on the chair. Frame 4, MPs jostling. I think that's Sanjay Raut, and this seems like Ripun Bora. I'll have to confirm it, Abhishek. Abhishek, why don't you take us through this report? I'll keep going from one frame to another while you tell us what's going on in this report. Yeah, we'll connect Abhishek once again, but you see the frame by frame description of the report. It's all in my hand here. Going frame by frame. This is the report accessed by Republic TV exclusively on your channel. On the biggest story tonight, the government has released a full report of what really happened. Shows MPs jostling, manhandling, pushing each other, throwing papers, and this was an MP who climbed over the marshals. And you can see clearly here some of the parliamentarians also shooting what's going on, trying to go to the chair, the Rajya Sabha chair. The aim seems to have been to try and push forward towards the Rajya Sabha chair. Is that correct, Abhishek? They wanted to go to the Rajya Sabha chair and do what?
Niranjan, the series of events minute by minute that we have accessed and which is part of this report that has been submitted by Parliament Security clearly shows that the MPs first obstructed the way of Leader of the House, that is Piyush Goyal, and Minister of Parliamentary Affairs, that is Prahlad Joshi, while they were coming from the chairman's chamber to take their respective seats. And then you have Ms. Dola Sen arguing and pushing around the lady security staff. And then the papers were torn. Which included, among others, by Syed Nasir Hussain, Arpita Ghosh, Priyanka Chaturvedi. And then the report says that the MP Elamaran Karim, he manhandled and severely choked the neck of one male marshal and dragged him in order to break the security cordon. So I think this is an extreme. In fact, I can tell you, a member of Parliament, Ripun Bora, for example, he climbed on an LED TV and LED TV stand and stood on the left side of the chair near the Leader of Opposition. And so this pandemonium ruled for almost half an hour and more. And then when the House reassembled, the Leader of Opposition asked for a point of order. So this clearly shows design. This clearly shows there was a plan to carry out this attack and to even physically cause harm to some official and possibly the chair. But then that was prevented by the marshals who took the brunt on their own self.
Thank you for joining us with those details, Abhishek.